landscape, events, landscape, portrait, sport, wildlife, and everything, wedding, events, and everything. So, so that's the purpose. Okay. Based on that, you can choose. So today it's everything is easy. Back in days it's Google. Today, if you go to ChatGPT and stuff, it directly gives you the answer what to buy, what not to buy. It gives there's no bias. It just gives the answer to you. So uh, purpose. Next thing is time and usage. How often are you going to use? Where are you going to use? And all this needs to be decided because if you are a wildlife photographer, for example, you will travel between different places, different countries. Maybe if you are a serious wildlife photographer, you may travel between continents. Yeah. So when you do that, the weather conditions and stuff will keep changing. So if you are buying a camera, as a wildlife photographer, you got to look into certain things like weather shield. It will support any weather condition. Sometimes these kind of cameras, if it is too heaty here, the batteries get drained fast, or sometimes it even gets freezed because of the heat, overheat. So there are issues like this. Imagine you spend $5,000 and you travel in a safari to Africa or somewhere, and then you take a camera, and then it gets freeze there. You miss the moment as a photographer, right? So you got to know based on what you are doing, you will choose and where you are going to use, and all these things needs to be decided. Remember this camera is a machine. If you buy and if you don't use it, this can cause fungus. Very important note. You got to make sure this can cause fungus. I don't know.
Ngayon ko lang na ako Brad. Sa isang camera lahat pwede na, hindi pa pala. Kaya pala yung mga photographer, ang daming dalang camera. Ngayon ko lang na.
Yeah, this is black dust here.
Yeah.
These are grease, like the oilments that get come out. So there's a small oilment thing going on here. So if you don't use it frequently, what happens is these oilments can leak into your camera body, into the lens and the body, and it could start forming fungus. So as a result, when you try to take photographs, maybe it will be gray, blur, all these kind of things could happen. If you're not frequently using it, at least once in a while, like once a month or twice a month, just take some shots, just wipe it off and keep it. If you think that you will not use continuously, get something called dry box. There's like 150 riyals. If you order online, it will be around 50-60 riyals also you can get. Just get a dry box and you can store it there, and it will perfectly protect your lens and camera. So that's very important. Accessory availability. Some brands are there. So when you talk about cameras, I'll come back after showing to this point after showing the types of cameras are there. So we have camera phone, compact cameras. We have super zoom camera. That's not super zoom; it's actually action cameras. And we have DSLR and mirrorless cameras. Okay. So when you talk about brands, Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fujifilm. Yeah, these are like the most popular brands. There are other brands as well, Leica. Those are luxury brands, I would say. Leica, Hasselblad, very expensive stuff. Hasselblad, and we have Olympus. We have even Samsung used to do cameras. There are different other brands as well. Panasonic cameras are there. Yeah.
Budget.
So what I'm trying to say here is, if you happen to choose anything beyond this brand, make sure that accessories are available for the camera brand that you are choosing.
Yes.
Accessories means it could be the flash, the triggers. There are a lot of accessories. So make sure that accessories are available. Now, when it comes to budget, this is the very important part.
Budget, yes.
Budget.
This is I think
yeah.
the budget.
Yeah. So what happens is most of the time. Sorry. Just give me a minute. I'll grab a marker pen.
Kaya pala sa PBA, ang dami nilang camera dala. May camera pang action. Ang iniisip ko dati, isang camera all in one lahat. Pwede siya medic, pwede siya gano'n, pwede action, di ba?
Siguro meron ganyang camera sir, pero hybrid na siya.
Oh, ba't hindi na presyo siguro nun? Kasi yun, sabi pala, may kanya-kanya pala siyang Action.
Okay, there is three grades of cameras. One we call it the basic camera, the other is the mid-range, and the pro grade cameras. Pro level we call it. Okay. So these cameras will price range will be between around 1,500 to around 2,500 riyals. Okay. This is basic.
Basic.
2,000.
Easy. 2,000.
2,500. Okay. That's someone talking about Qatari riyals. And this
MID.
around 3,000 to 6,000 riyals. Okay,
Oh.
6,500 to anything above can even go up to around 20,000, 25,000 riyals or something like that. It's a pro grade camera. Now, when you choose cameras,
Yung all-in-one na.
when you choose cameras, don't buy this. Okay, if you are only serious about photography, don't invest in this one. What happens is, obviously, when you start taking photographs, you will feel it's more like amateur or basic kind of feel will be there, because as humans we compare one another. Like, okay, you learn, you will use my camera and you will practice, and you will see a different quality. When you try to buy, considering, okay, I'm a beginner, let me go slow, and if you think that, and if you try to invest in this, after buying this camera, I'm pretty sure that has happened to many students, within 1 month or maximum 1.5 to 2 months, you will feel like upgrading into this. Okay? So when you try to sell this, you know this market. You try to sell a Land Cruiser, 100,000 Land Cruiser here, there will be people asking for 10,000. Bro, can I pay 10,000? That's the market we live in. So if you try to sell something like this, you will end up getting nothing. So better you slowly take your time and invest in this. And if you have the luxury to go for a professional grade camera, you can go for it. But ideally, you can invest in a mid-range camera. Now, a mid-range camera and pro grade cameras mostly use the same sensor and the chip. You are the point. So when they use the same chip, the technology is almost the same. Like example, when you take like iPhone or the Samsung, they have different series. Like example, the flagship series, if you take iPhone 17, 17 Pro, and they have 17 Max, right? Max. If you take these two, only the phone size will be small and big. They use the same technology, same chip and everything. But 17 will be very basic. So the same thing applies here. These two cameras, Pro and mid-range, mostly use the same chip, and it's easy for you to use from mid-range. And if you want to upgrade it to a pro level, it's easy to ship. The technology is almost the same. But if you try to use from here and try to jump here or try to come here at once, it's gonna be little hard because the technology is different. You have to learn everything from the beginning. So if you are investing, I highly recommend take your time and invest in a mid-range camera, which is definitely worth.
Sir, for this one mid-range cameras, around 3,000 to 6,000, what is that? For the 35 mm or there is two kinds of
Yes,
camera
that's what I'm trying to say. Yes. So in a what do you call? In a camera, a sensor, a full frame, we something call it full frame and crop sensor we call it.
Yeah.
So what is full frame? What is crop sensor? The easier example that I can show you is, now I'm standing here, right? Okay, I'm standing here and I'm trying to take a photograph, and I'm able to see most of the details from here. Okay, I see Canon, the Fuji, some of the parts of the camera. Now this is a full frame field of view. Here I'm using a 50mm focal length lens. So when I stand here and take a photograph, I'm able to see most of the parts of the what what do you call, details in this frame. At the same time, there is something called a crop sensor. A crop sensor will look like this. If I take a photograph, it crops the photo. So if I want the same frame, then I need to come 2 or 3 steps behind. 2 steps behind to take the same photo. So what happens is, when you try to do this with a crop sensor, the result is the photo's resolution gets lower, and when you try to take 2 or 3 steps back to get the same shot you want, you start losing the details. The more you are closer, the more details you will capture. The more far you keep going, based on your, I mean focal length and everything,
Yes.
you will start losing details. So here, in this 3000 range, what I'm talking about is 3000 may give you a crop sensor body, but still you will have the same technology as pro-grade cameras. But when you try to upgrade your budget to about, let's say, 6000 riyals, you will get full frame cameras entry level. You got the point. Entry level means professional grade again. Entry level cameras for full frame, which is easy to jump into this technology because, again, as I mentioned, this and this budget cameras mostly use the same chipset. Is it clear?
So I have one more question.
Yeah.
Regarding you pointed out regarding your lens, it's 50 mm. What's the meaning of mm stands for?
As a millimeter.
Millimeter. Now, 50 mm, it means your distance to take a picture or okay.
The focal length.
Focal length.
Focal length.
This is the meaning of 50
Yeah.
mm focal length.
Yeah.
Di depende ka
But there is a disadvantage
Di
in
depende
getting
ka
a crop sensor and
Ganun
then
lang
shifting
aabutin.
to a full sensor because of the
Kukuha ka
lenses,
rin
right?
ng distansya. Kasi siya,
Because-
So what
On
happens
a
is
crop
there's a crop
sensor, you will be using the lenses differently.
Yes.
So you have to upgrade
Yeah,
the body and the lens as well.
Exactly.
Di
It's very
MSL
Yeah.
mirror lens na yan.
Mirror lens.
Ito
Still you can use
na-
full frame lenses here. Here
Sa presyo
example,
siguro niya, no?
if you are using like the 50 mm, still you can use it in a crop sensor camera. So what happens is, if you are using a Nikon camera, what you get is 1.5 times crop factor. That means your lens will become
So the same quality you will not get, right? Because it's cropping again. Because of the lens,
yes.
even though the body is a full frame body, the lens is cropping
Lenses,
it,
you're
right?
cropping it.
So
Yes.
you are not going to get the full benefit out of
Benefit out of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got it, sir. In 35 mm, for 50 mm,
It will be 75.
in 35 mm in what they call that one in the sensor.
Yeah.
Now, for if you are going to times that 152 times to 1.5, it will be 75.
75 millimeter.
In crop sensor.
In crop sensor, yes.
Oh, okay, I understand.
If you are, this is Nikon.
Okay.
If you are using Canon, 1.6.
Oh, okay. No, it's different.
So,
So,
Yeah.
so you're losing more and more.
More and more years.
Kano, no?
So if you want that 50 millimeter frame, that means you need to go 2, 3, 4 steps back to get that frame. As a result, you will start losing details in your photograph. Okay, so invest in a mid-range ideally. Okay, don't rush yourself. Yeah, so take your time and invest because it's very important.
This all mirrorless.
Mirrorless and DSLR.
Yes.
So don't ask which brand is good. Go to any brand, I will get commissions. Okay.
You have some, you have.
Yeah, that means you get what do you call
Maybe less
discounts.
price.
I have partnerships with all brands except Sony now I discontinued. Nikon you will get, Fuji also you get, Canon depends on their availability.
Buti pa lang, hindi muna ako bumili.
So all the brands are good because I am a pro Nikon user for the past 10 years. I'm a Nikon school ambassador as well. I am good with Canon. I've spoken for them and everything. Fuji is my workshop partners. All these people are good, but I don't recommend any brand.
What is the best there?
No, I'm
Branded?
no answer for that. No.
I saw one brand, sir, Nikon, that I think it's flagship, Nikon ZR.
ZR3. This is ZR2.
Ah,
Yeah. So it depends. It depends what you want to do. All the cameras are good. So it's not about the camera. It's the person behind the camera.
Yeah.
Some people you will see they will make beautiful content, beautiful photographs just with mobile. So I don't talk about gears anymore.
Because of him,
Yeah. I tomorrow I'm going to buy a new camera. It's a cinema camera I'm going to buy tomorrow.
imagination.
I'm not buying it whole heart,
Number-
but it's just a requirement. I have this web summit coming in, right? On the first of. So I have 4 days to cover. So it's a prestige event, and a prestige company is hiring me to work for them. And I don't want to take this camera and do. For a fact, I will carry that, but half of the time I'll shoot with my iPhone that I have, and I will use here and there of those footages as well. But they want that, they pay for that. Okay, so it's again and again I'm saying all the brands are pretty good. So Sony is number one, Canon is at two. These two are in the same market. They all share the same market.
Sony is the best.
Sony
This
is
is number one.
Sony is good. It doesn't mean they are the best. Camera to camera, it's in terms of color science. We all the brands agree this is the best. Fuji colors.
Oh.
It's because they have a different color science. And Nikon is also good with color science,
Different.
but they used to have issues with focus and stuff. Now they have fixed that. Okay, if you had asked me a question, should I buy a Nikon 10 years back, I would say no, don't buy. Because I purchased the camera, I had no choice to go back to sell and buy another camera because I invested in lens and everything. So it's a cost. So I had to continue with that. Now it's good. Canon and Sony, they are good for videography and photography, hybrid. Fast focus, videography capabilities are very high. Most of the videographers, if you see anywhere here, they use Sony.
Sony.
which camera is this? Which model?
Which one? There's many brands, many what do you call cameras, not just one.
So let's say for like mid-range videography.
Mid-range, if you talk about mid-range, we have, if you take Sony, they have 6700 series, and then they have the Alpha 7, that is again flagship series. That's slightly, I'll give you a list of items, okay? Here 6700. In Nikon you have Z50 Mark II, okay? Mark II, and Z, if you want a full frame entry level, Z5 Mark II. And you have R8 in Canon, Nikon, Sony. Okay, sorry, Sony. R8, and they have R6 is slightly R8. They have something called that is expensive anyway.
This for videography and photography both.
Yes. Fuji, they have something called XE50 2. I think now they recently released this also. Okay. So, personally, I have tested out this R8, still not this. This is I haven't had the chance to do it, but again there's an older version called XT5, not 50. XT5 is also good. Okay, so all the cameras are good. Again, what you will do, how are you going to use it? Now, if you are planning something not very complicated, go for Nikon and Canon. Very user friendly. Sony and Fuji is little complicated because in Fuji gave me their cameras and asked me to test it out. It took 3 days for me to change from video mode to photography. For example, if you want to use the photography, there is a photography icon here. It's a matter of just